You ever just stop and think, how did we get here? How did our world get to be, well, this? That's what we're going to do today. We're going to run a little thought experiment. We'll look at the history that didn't happen to really get a handle on the breakthroughs that built, well, everything. All right, so let's just jump right in. I want you to ask yourself this one simple, but honestly massive question. What if the big moments, the key breakthroughs in history, just hadn't happened?
Like, what if there were no wheels at all? No cars, obviously, no carts, not even a simple pottery wheel, just nothing.
Okay, now what about electricity? Poof, gone. The lights just go out. For good. And here's the kicker. What if there were no computers, no internet, no phone in your pocket? Nothing. It's kind of hard to even wrap your head around, isn't it? So yeah, let's break down how we even got all this stuff. Okay, but before we go any further, we gotta get on the same page about two words, inventions and discoveries. They sound pretty similar, right? But believe me, they are fundamentally different, and they both totally shape the world we live in.
And this is a perfect way to see it. Over here, you've got an invention, the airplane, something we dreamed up and built from scratch. And on the other side, you've got a discovery. Columbus didn't invent the Americas, right? The continents were already there. He just found them.
So think of an invention as pure creation. It's taking an idea in your head and making a brand new thing that has never, ever existed before.
A discovery, though, is totally different. It's about finding something that was there all along. Pulling back the curtain on a piece of reality that we just didn't know about. So with that in mind, let's look at some of these world-building breakthroughs. First up, let's talk about the inventions. These are those incredible sparks of genius, the moments where we created something out of thin air that literally changed everything.
We're going way, way back for this one, like 5000 BCE. The Sumerians come up with the wheel. And just like that, boom, moving heavy stuff becomes possible. Think about it. It completely transformed farming, building, travel, everything.
I mean, it seems so basic now, doesn't it? So fundamental. But here's the thing. Was it inevitable? Did it have to be invented? Well, check this out, because this is wild. The answer is no. 6,000 years later, you have these incredibly sophisticated civilizations. The Mayans, the Incans. They used circles all over their art, their buildings, but they never developed the wheel for transport. It just wasn't part of their story. Mind-blowing, right? Okay, let's fast forward a few thousand years. We're in 1903. The Wright brothers do something that honestly, most people thought was just a crazy dream. They achieved the first powered flight. And just like that, the age of aviation was born. So let's ask that question again. What if it never happened? What if we all just stayed on the ground? Well, for one, the world would feel huge again, and really disconnected. I mean, it's not just that you'd have to take a ship for months to get anywhere. Think bigger. Global trade would slow to a crawl. The way cultures mix and share ideas, that would barely happen. Our whole idea of being one big, connected global community, it might have never even existed. All right, let's bring it a little closer to home. An invention a lot of us actually remember happening, the personal computer. Sure, there were giant computers before, but when IBM rolled out the first PC in 1981, that's what really kicked off the digital age for everyday people like you and me. So, you know the drill. Let's imagine our world without that one key piece. What happens when you pull that card out of the whole deck? Everything would run on paper. And that's not just, annoying. Our entire global economy, the news, scientific research, all of it would be stuck at the speed of a typewriter and limited by how much you can cram into a filing cabinet. This instant data everywhere world we know, it would just vanish. Okay, let's switch gears. We've talked inventions, now let's talk discoveries. These aren't things we made up, but things we found and then figured out how to use, unlocking all this hidden power in the world that was already there.
So picture this. It's 1858. The first commercial oil well gets drilled. And people figure out that this black gunk coming out of the ground could be turned into this incredibly powerful source of energy.
And without that discovery, the entire 20th century is a different story. The explosion of cars all running on gasoline, it just wouldn't have happened. Not like that. Our cities, our suburbs, the way we live, it'd be totally unrecognizable. Now here is a huge one. Electricity, the force itself, was already known. But in 1879, what Thomas Edison did wasn't invent electricity. No, he figured out a practical, safe way to actually use it. He found a way to put a light bulb in every home.
And just imagine if we hadn't. Our nights would still belong to the flicker of candles and the hiss of gaslights. This 24/7 world we take for granted? Totally impossible.
All right, let's talk about a discovery that completely changed medicine. It's 1928, and Dr. Alexander Fleming sees something weird on a petri dish. It's a bit of mold, and it's actually killing the bacteria around it. He had just stumbled upon penicillin.
The impact of this? I mean, it's just staggering. Before penicillin, a simple scrape could get infected and kill you. This one discovery saved millions of lives. And when it was used as an antibiotic in World War II, well, it completely changed the odds for wounded soldiers.
So, okay, we've looked at inventions we created out of nothing and discoveries that unlocked secrets of the universe. So what? What's the big takeaway here?
Well, here's the most important part. None of this stuff happens in a vacuum. History isn't just a list of random events. It's a chain of dominoes. Each invention, each discovery, it's one domino tipping over and hitting the next and then the next and the next. And that chain reaction is what built the very world we're standing in right now.
And that leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to think about. Looking at the world today, what's the next domino? What's the next great invention or discovery just waiting around the corner, ready to fall and reshape everything all over again?